Greetings to my amazing V family all over the planet. This is your one and only Drop Dead Gorgeous Chief, sitting now in Dubai. Alright, the last Wednesday message I was in Thailand with none other than our two amazing founders, Dato Sri Vijay and Jabadas Bismarck. And I just landed in Dubai a few hours ago and decided to record this Wednesday message from the most beautiful city in the Middle East, Dubai. So I'm staying here at my favorite hotel, the Palace Hotel, downtown Dubai. And I've been thinking a lot during the flight from Bangkok to Dubai about the VCon that just happened. How amazing it was. And I've been getting so much feedback on WhatsApp from so many people around the world that this was the best VCon, the greatest VCon. And while I was in Bangkok, I was sitting down with Dato Sri and Japa. I had the privilege of sitting with both of them in the barber shop, okay? Now, I know you're asking, what does Japa do in the barber shop? He shaves. He doesn't have hair. Alright? But Dato Sri was having a haircut. And I was there. So I was there alone in the barber shop with two of the greatest networkers and the greatest uplines on this planet. And we were talking about, you saw that photo on Facebook with me and both of them. And we were talking about the past. And we were talking about how we are responsible for the mindset of the new sign-up. And a lot of people fail to understand this, that when you sign up a new person, that guy is coming into network marketing, all right, coming into QNet with a lot of preconceived ideas because he heard from his next door neighbor, mother-in-law, best friend, office colleagues, negativity, and you try to erase that negativity and bring him into a positive zone. Alright, bring him to VCon, bring him into your system, show him all the videos, okay, and get him into the right frame of mind, alright, to get him started as a networker. And that's what everyone does around the world, and we've been doing this for the past 18 years. But what we fail to understand is that when somebody signs up and joins the organization for the first time, his benchmark of network marketing is empty. He doesn't know anything about performance, about your expectation as his upline, his expectation of himself. What does the industry expect from him? Alright? And this is where everyone makes a mistake. Most networkers make this big mistake by signing up somebody without instilling the right benchmark in that person's mind. Because it's like you're getting a newborn baby. You understand? So when you have children, for those of you who have children, you understand this. You create benchmark in your children's mind from exams. If you have daughters, you create a benchmark that all boys are bad. You understand? Alright? Fathers, you know what I'm talking about. You understand? And you create a benchmark that a student, your child should get A or the top results in the exam. Even though you failed your exams, you still create a benchmark in your child that they should be the top student in their class, school or university. And that is how programmable a child is. That you have the ability to program a child with the relevant benchmarks that you want to instill in that person, all right, in your child. So when they grow up, they have certain expectations of life, certain expectations of the definition of success. Now in network marketing, when a new sign-up comes in, it's a newborn baby. That girl or guy you signed up is a newborn baby. They do not know anything. Alright? And what you guys do, you don't take advantage of this situation. Alright? To create the benchmark in that person's mind. For example, let me tell you my story. When I signed up in 1998, alright, my upline, the one and only Dato Sri Vijay, didn't guide me specifically. And he didn't exactly tell me what I should or should not do. So I remember asking him, I said, Dato Sri, alright, or Ishwaran at that time, he wasn't Dato Sri. I said, Ishwaran, alright, how many presentations should I do in a day? He said, as many as you can, Pathman. So my first few months of networking, I was doing like 20 presentations a day. From the time I woke up till the time I go to sleep. I was doing 20 every day. It was a normal day. Wake up, 20 presentations. 15, 18 presentations. It was normal in me and my organization. Now you're sitting there watching this video and you're saying, unbelievable, Chief did 20 presentations. But you don't understand. When I was doing it, it wasn't unbelievable. It was normal. Alright? Then I remember I met some leaders from the Philippines who came to Malaysia for a joint training. And in that training, we had coffee and we were talking outside the training hall. And they asked me, Pathman, how many presentations do you do? I said, we do about 20. 20 a month. I said, no, 20 a day. And they looked at me like I was from planet Mars. You understand? Alien chief. They were like, oh my God, that's unbelievable. And they all started to surround me like I'm a superstar. Then I realized that shit, I'm doing too much presentation. And after realizing that my benchmark was so high, that everyone's benchmark was so low, I started to reduce my benchmark. And I came down to 3 presentations, 4 presentations a day. And I realized if I didn't interact with any other human being outside my organization, we would have continued doing 10 to 20 presentations a day. Because that was the benchmark I created in my mind, which was duplicated to my organization. So the question you have to ask yourself, what benchmark have you created in your organization? That means if I sign up in your organization, what's the standard? What's the benchmark? What's the threshold? When should I get my first check? When should I activate? So in the early years, I came up with so many programs. I came up with Rule 3, which is a minimum of 15 presentations a month. No excuses. Minimum. You want to do 40, 50, 60 presentations? Unbelievable. But the minimum was 15. And Rule 3 became a mantra. I remember I did a Rule 3 world tour to 30, 40 cities with the V partners. And we set a benchmark that no networker, no active switched on networker should exist in QNet and the V unless they're doing a minimum of 15 presentations a month. Minimum. Rule 3, which is an average of 4 a week. And then I realized that there was no benchmark in networking in our organization. This was 15 years ago, 10 years ago maybe, that how long should I take to find my first 2 directs? How long should I take to activate my tracking center? And people were saying, oh, my organization 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. It's moronic. It is unacceptable. How can a human being with a dream, alright, take 1 week to find 2 directs? And these 2 directs are from your hot zone. Alright? Shut up, sign up. Wake up and smell the coffee. So I realized that, hey, so I asked everyone in my organization, how long do you take to get your directs? 2 directs. Activation. Because that's when you start actually earning money. And then they said, oh, Chief, 3 days, 4 days. I said, no. The new benchmark is 48 hours. Alright? Then I launched a benchmark module called Act 48, which still people use today all around the world. Alright? That Act 48, it's common sense that if you sign up in QNet today, why would you take longer than 48 hours to find 2 directs? You must be a moron if you take longer than 48 hours. Alright? It's the easiest thing to do to activate in 48 hours. Alright? Find your 2 in 48 hours. So Act 48 became a mantra, became a benchmark. Now I realized over the past few years, because I'm so involved in so many other aspects of the company with Dato Sri, with Japa and the V partners, I realized that all the benchmarks I have set over the past 18 years, people don't apply it anymore. So let me ask you a question. You're watching me right now, this gorgeous face, live from Dubai. Are you doing 15 presentations a month? I bet you the answer is no. If you are not doing 15 presentations a month, a minimum of Rule 3, that means your organization is screwed. Because they are duplicating the wrong benchmark. You are doing most probably 3 or 4 presentations a month. That's like once a week. Please go to the tallest building in Dubai, Burj Al Arab, alright, and play the song I Believe I Can Fly. Because Rule 3 was a benchmark. And when we launched the benchmark of Rule 3, a minimum of 15 presentations a month, the whole world went crazy. The number of presentations in our organization, the V, exponentially increased. Because people didn't know. Oh, Chief, nobody told us it should be a minimum of 15. Go slap your upline. Alright? Think about it. If your whole organization right now if your whole organization, active, switch on leaders, are doing a minimum of 15 presentations a month, all right, max out, guaranteed. That's it. So I realize a lot of people don't have benchmarks, don't have standards in your organization. You are just promoting, oh, QNet is the best, you must max out, buy the best product, QVI, you just, why? Where's the standard? If I join your organization, what is the standard? What is the benchmark, all right, that I should follow? Should I find 2 in 48 hours? Can I get my first check in the first week? All right? Should I get weekly checks after 3 months? What is the benchmark? So don't build your organization just on hype and energy. Have benchmarks. So the new sign up who is a baby will program the benchmark in their mind, and they will build a powerful network. Trust me. All right? So your organization, whichever group you belong to, whichever country you belong to, you should have a benchmark. All right? A minimum standard. Now, don't have a benchmark for everything. All right? How many trainings you must attend? That's a benchmark. How many VCons you must go? That's a benchmark. Oh, you must come for ISB. No. Have basic benchmarks. When does somebody activate? How many presentations should they do? When should they hit their first check? When should they start getting weekly checks? When should they already hit 2,000 US a week? 5,000 US, 10,000 US, max out. These benchmarks must be built in your organization, must be talked about, must be programmed. A new benchmark coming now on the phone, all right, must be programmed into the newcomers. Because a lot of new sign-ups who I meet, they are lost because you don't tell them what you expect from them, what the industry expects from them, what success expects from them. You understand? People need to be told what is expected from them because they are new in this industry. They don't know. I didn't know. I just looked up at Dato Sri and said, when should I get my first check? He said, tomorrow. Done. I did it. You understand? Right, Dato Sri, how many people should be earning in my group? Oh, at least 50%. Okay. I don't know where he came up with these magical numbers. But I just shut up, listen and do. Alright? Empty my cup. Because everyone who signs up, their cup is empty. And your duty as an upline is to instill benchmarks. So go back to your uplines and say, hey, what is our benchmark? What are the standards in our organization? So imagine if your whole organization activates in 48 hours. Unbelievable. Alright? The checks, the commission, the max out stories will be much more than it is now. If everyone in your organization followed Rule 3, a simple rule of minimum of 15 presentations, alright, a month. The most easiest duplicable benchmark for your whole organization to follow. So if you belong to an organization with no standards, with no benchmarks, with no rules to follow, what happens? The organization only relies on energy, passion and hype. Alright? And the minute that passion and energy is weak, people drop out. Because the human mind needs to be told what is expected from them. Then they know how to work, they know what to do. And the same applies to your organization. So guys, have benchmarks. My two benchmarks which are non-negotiable for the 18 years is number 1, Rule 3. Alright, if you have forgotten, go to VTube, alright, subscribe and watch my Rule 3 video. It's all over the place. We even have a music video with the V partners called Rule 3 where my niece sang. You understand? Rule 3 is fundamental. Rule number 1, your name list must have a minimum of 150 names. Rule number 2, your name list must grow by 10% every month. Alright? Number 3, you must do a minimum of 15 presentations a month. Non-negotiable. Minimum. You want to do more? Fantastic. And then my second benchmark, which is fundamentally important, is Act 48. That if you sign up, you should activate your tracking center. That means find 2 within the first 48 hours. Strike when the iron is hot. Alright, and these 2 benchmarks carried our organization globally for 18 years. And I'm just here to remind you, without a benchmark, without a certain standard in your organization won't last. It will not grow. So wake up, smell the coffee, have benchmarks in your organization. This is fundamentally important. And this week, guys, alright, I gave you a clear goal to achieve, right? Find 4 last week. This week also find 4. All right. We have the last week of the promo extension, okay, of Viconanza. So rock Viconanza and make this week a week where our message to the world is loud enough that we are here to prove them wrong. And guys, I'm here in Dubai for one goal only, to prepare the greatest event coming in the month of September, VCon UAE. Alright, registration opens in a few days, so rush. Make sure you're there. So this is your chief from Dubai saying, I love you guys, and remember, set the standards high. Have benchmarks in your organization.